One mind, one world for us all. Attican here. This is episode 1 of Back the Blue. Crimes by those in law enforcement. A neutral reporting of only the recorded ones, the ones we can have proof of, crimes by law enforcement. So without further intro, let's get into it. And this first crime is from Westover in West Virginia. A man called Andre Houghton, 54, who has no criminal record, and actually thought the police were there to protect him when he called them for help on that fateful January night back in 2019. So this is about a year and a half ago now. Houghton quickly learned, or Houghton, I'm not sure how to pronounce that help was the last thing he would get from two Westover police officers who pulled him from his home and beat him so badly that he suffered multiple breaks in his face, as well as having 3 teeth knocked out. Houghton committed no crime. The incident unfolded on the 1st of January 2019 when Houghton called police because a woman was refusing to leave his home. Westover police officers Zachary Fexko and Aaron Dalton were the responding officers. Houghton simply requested that the officers remove the woman from his home, which they did, but this routine call quickly escalated when the officers set their sights on Houghton. When you look, so this is according to Houghton's attorney, Beth Lebow. When you look at the video camera, the body cam, you can see pretty clearly what happened. Fesco pulled him out and started hitting him immediately. As the officers loaded the woman into the police cruiser, Houghton yelled at her, calling her a crackhead, excuse me, and other obscenities. This is not illegal, however. This is protected under the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. The right, under the Bill of Rights, to freedom of expression. However, Fexco took issue with the man over it. Fexco shouted at Houghton to, quote, "Get in your house and shut up, and come outside and start yelling, and I'll be back down here tonight if you come outside again." When Houghton yelled crackhead, Fesco lost it and turned around to release his anger, as cops do, on the innocent 54-year-old man who was standing in his own doorway. Beth Lebow, his attorney, describes in an interview with WAJR's Talk of the Town. I presume that is a local radio station. Fesco then grabbed Houghton by his collar while shouting, "Get your ass out here, boy," before throwing him to the ground. Fesco begins punching Houghton repeatedly in his face, dropping fist after fist into the man's head and face. While watching his partner beat an innocent man, Officer Dalton begins shouting at Fesco to, quote, "Spray that mother effer, spray him, spray the mother effer." Once Fesco's savage attack came to an end, he then blamed it on Houghton. So he's now victim blaming. "You asked for that, Andre. You earned it," the tyrant cop said. Houghton was severely injured during the melee. Despite his injuries, police refused to bring him to the hospital, instead bringing him to the jail. When they tried to book him, he was too injured, and according to the lawsuit, the jail turned him away. North Regional which is the name of the jail, turned him away, according to his attorney, Beth LeBeau. They said his injuries were too severe. He needs to go to the hospital. Houghton was still not taken to the hospital. Rather, the lawsuit claims Fesco took Houghton back to his apartment and dropped him off. I don't know how they finagled that paper-wise, but that's what happened, according to Beth LeBeau. Houghton's daughter, after not hearing from her father, for several days, then went to his home and found her father badly injured and unable to remember what happened. Only then was he brought to the hospital. Days later, Houghton finds out he's been charged with 4 counts: disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, obstruction, and battery on an officer. For nearly a year, the charges hung over this innocent man's head as he stared down the possibility of several years behind bars for crimes he did not commit. I requested a jury trial, and they had never had a jury trial before. There were a lot of continuances. At one point, they switched prosecutors. Once it was time to file motions, we filed a motion to be involved in all the jury selection processes because we weren't certain Westover knew how to sit a jury, because everyone was telling us they had never done so, said LeBeau, which is his lawyer. The day we filed the motion, I got a call from the prosecutor that they were going to drop all 4 charges. Highlighting the severely dysfunctional vetting process within the Westover Police Department is the fact that both of these cops have tainted and even criminal pasts, but remain on the force despite that. According to WAJR, prior to working for the Westover Police Department, Fesco was charged with domestic battery and burglary in 2015. He allegedly broke into an ex-girlfriend's apartment in the middle of the night and destroyed her belongings. Fesco also allegedly had a physical altercation with the woman and threatened her. The charges were ultimately dropped as part of a plea agreement. Dalton formerly worked for the Fairmont City Police Department before signing on with Westover. According to the lawsuit, Dalton was sued for an unprovoked attack on 2 men at a party. The victims were wrestled to the ground, punched in the face, tased, kicked, beaten, and sprayed in the face with mace. And let's see this, shall we? Your discretion is advised. About 11 minutes. Here's the video.
What's going on?
Hey, come on in, fellas.
What's up, Andre?
Hey, Andre.
How you doing, sir?
All right.
How you doing, Paul?
What's up, man? I just want this woman to be on my house.
Okay, Paul, you're good. Go ahead, bud.
Let me walk out.
All right. You don't want to get involved in this. Come on up here.
Where's she at? In the back.
In the back, can you do me a favor, sir? If you don't mind, can you speak with this officer? Can you step outside real quick with Officer Hall?
What's going on there?
She want to get high. She want to go out and get high and do some fucked up shit and that fucked up shit. That's it, dude.
All right, Paul. All right.
Ain't no more of that. There's no more. Hey, hold up. Look at her. She want to just get high.
Okay.
And I don't want to know my house.
Okay.
I said, there's no more than that. She want to run down Osage. Some people out Osage get high. She calling them, talking on that bullshit.
Is she out right now?
But she wanted to be high.
All right.
And that's my fault because we drank a little bit of crown. And got a little fucked up. But it's my place.
Yeah.
I ain't touching her, fucking up, and doing
All right,
anything
that's
crazy.
cool. We got a call. Somebody called, third party called, said there's something going
I
on
just
down
want her
here.
out my house.
All right, we'll see what's going on.
Y'all know what I am, man. You wanna go smoke some crack? You wanna know? You wanna know the truth? If you wanna know the truth,
I'm not.
smoke some
How
crack.
do I got money? Search me. I have no
Hey
money.
guys, listen. We're trying to get this. Get your stuff. We'll give you a ride somewhere.
I am, but I can't with him in here yelling at me like this.
Okay.
She's a crackhead.
Andre, chill out for me.
Alright. Well, that's what's going on. She's a fucking crack addict.
Okay, listen. Hold
She's
those
gonna
phones
go
until we get
smoke
out of
crack.
here. Man, please gather your stuff.
I'm gathering it.
Well, please,
The
it's an
crack
emergency.
And her
Andre, where have I been? Where have I been all day?
Man, we're not.
Where have I been all
Listen,
day?
we're not arguing this stuff right now. Get your stuff, okay? Now I've been role playing.
Well, he's sitting there. You let him say this shit to me.
He's a free country, man. He can make comments. You ignore him.
But I'm not allowed to make free
We
comments.
just don't want you guys arguing.
what's your pill? What's your bag of pills in? Make sure you get them. Hit that pipe when you get there.
Ignore it.
Hit that pipe.
You're looking for like you're
Get the
We
fuck
can
out.
see that.
Fuck
That's all
you.
we're
Get
getting
your
out.
shit. Get the fuck out.
Come on. Why are you hanging out? Let's go.
Yeah, why you hanging out? Well, make sure you get your bag of pills. Get the pipe for me. You know how hard, Mr. Dalton, do you know how bad my heart hurts from these goofy motherfuckers I've been trying to bring up and put on the map and get them off of drugs and get them off of that? Look at this. It's the same crackhead motherfucker. You know how hard that hurts, do you? You don't.
No, I don't live with
You
anybody
don't.
that
She's
does
gonna
that.
run. If you ran in the Osage, that motherfucker will be down there hitting the pipe. You know how bad that is? You fucking
Identification crashes on Goshen Road, correct?
You're gonna let him walk.
Hot
Passenger
crackhead.
in the area of
I'm
820
behind you.
Goshen.
Hit the pipe for me. Tell Mike I said hi.
2227.
Okay, Osage.
Crackhead bitch.
Hey, sir, listen up. All right, you're in your own house. You can do that stuff. You're gonna come out here and yell.
I'm in my house.
You're gonna see a different person. Understand me?
Andre,
You're not
knock it
coming out
off.
here And doing this bullshit.
Knock it off,
Get in your
Andre.
house and shut up. You hear me?
You're being
Now,
disrespectful,
come on,
Andre.
come outside again and
You're
start
being
yelling.
disrespectful.
Exactly.
You're being disrespectful.
Inside. I'll be back down here tonight if you come outside again. You're gonna act that way.
Where?
You want to get in there and shut the door.
Crackhead. She's
Yeah.
a crackhead.
You
You
yell
Male
outside.
778,
I don't
gray
care if you're in
hoodie,
the door.
blue
You know what?
jeans, cowboy
You
boots,
know what?
black and white ball cap.
Boy.
Get off of him, Paul! Get off of him, Paul!
Roll the fuck over.
Roll over, I'll spray you!
You pulled me.
Get up! Get up! Get up, Paul, and get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! Don't you attack that officer! Get down, Paul! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
Show me your hands.
Spray that motherfucker! Spray him!
Give me your hands.
Put your hands behind your back, Paul, or I'm gonna fuck you up. Put your hands behind your back.
Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Roll over on your face. Give me your hands.
Spray him!
Give me your hand.
Spray him!
Roll over. Hand. Give me your other hand.
Try to attack that officer.
Give me another hand. Give me your other hand. Move me. Give me your other hand.
Give me your other hand, Paul.
Give it to me.
Give it to me now.
Give it to me.
Give me your fucking hand.
Put down your back. Do not move.
You asked for that, Andre.
I'll be on scene.
You earned it.
On 2229.
Put your hand back behind your back, Paul.
29. What's 2 detained? Copy 2 detained at 2229. Second 529. Sorry,
Stay there.
Sorry, EMS.
Don't get up.
Copy 2230.
Paul tried to attack you while you were
Yeah, I
fighting with him.
saw that. He started hitting me.
He hit you back?
Yeah.
That's a mistake. Both of you can get battery on an officer. Shut your mouth. And don't. You're high, you're drunk, you can go to jail too. He tried to blindside you. Paul,
I saw.
Andre, things for you are going to change around here. You understand that? You showed your ass tonight, you're going to move.
Okay, I will. I'll probably post the full video later, but that is the full beating. Pretty much the bulk of the beating we saw there. And again, as whether or not anything happened to these officers, I would say. Let's look at this comment. Somebody just commenting on this. Oh, this was actually a couple days ago on the 8th. Username TVS says, white woman allows police to remove her and place her in car. Black man gets uppity and the old South kicks in. He gets beat up and arrested. Would have been lynched in the 30s for looking twice at a white woman. In a normal situation, the woman is placed the car and the black man, sick, is allowed to go back into his home. If that had been reversed, the black man would have been placed in car and arrested on some trumped up charge, cops believing whatever the white woman said. Anyway, making eye contact with a white woman by a black man in the Old South would get the guy beaten up or lynched. Today, the black man gets beaten up for disrespecting a white woman. Nothing has changed in this police state society. Okay, let's move on to the next. And like I said, I will try to link that in the description box. And I still got to do that for my Israel video, so excuse me on that one, guys. Been backed up a little bit today and yesterday, so I'll do both those after this broadcast. But continue on, Back to Blue episode 1. Okay, we have a cop arrested after video showed him walk up to a handcuffed man and kick his head like a soccer ball. This is out of Monroe, Louisiana. After his violent arrest in April, Timothy Williams, age 40, thought he was going to be railroaded by the system that savagely attacked and imprisoned him during a police response to an audible alarm. Williams, who had nothing to do with the alarm going off, was stopped by police and savagely beaten while handcuffed. For months, no one believed him. But now the video has been released, and the officer who doled out horrifying violence on a handcuffed man has been charged. According to police, they detained Mr. Williams that night because they came across him while responding to the alarm going off. He was not suspected of committing a crime. However, when police searched him, they found a toy gun in a holster. This is not a crime. When police searched his shirt, they claim a glass pipe fell out of his pocket and Williams ran. Williams said that being surrounded by 7 cops frightened him, so he took off running. He did not run far when he realized the futile nature of his actions. Williams stopped, put his hands up, and laid on his stomach to be handcuffed. Quote, I was just thinking maybe, well, when I give up, they'll just put the handcuffs on me and I'll just face the charges that they're going to charge me with. I didn't think that I would be put in handcuffs and get beaten and still have to face charges too. Unfortunately, that is exactly what happened. Despite the complete lack of resistance, laying face first on the ground and getting handcuffed without incident, Williams was brutally beaten by at least 2 officers. Williams pleaded guilty on the 17th of July to flight from an officer and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was sentenced to time served by the court. After being released, community members urged Williams to find an attorney and follow up his case, so he did. Williams said his pastor played a key role in helping him get justice. When no one else believed in me, they believed in me. My pastor believed in me when no one else believed in me. This could be anyone else. I could be dead right now. Through the grace of God, I am here, said Timothy Williams, the victim. Now, at least one of the officers who attacked the handcuffed man is facing accountability. Monroe, Louisiana police officer Jared Preston Desadier, age 42, was arrested last month on 2 felony charges, including malfeasance in office and second-degree battery. He has since resigned from the department. This week, the video was released showing why Desadier needs to be in jail. Monroe Mayor Ellis said, "Today's release of the body cam footage of the incident is one of several steps we intend to take to ensure transparency during this process and to maintain public confidence in the city's commitment to ensure that all citizens are treated equally. The citizens of Monroe expect the highest degree of professionalism from all of our employees, including police officers, and we will continue to make sure that we meet those expectations." Desadier did not meet those expectations. One of Williams' attorneys, Miss Donisha Banks Miley. Well, obviously, it was very disturbing, very, very disturbing what we saw. If you look closely, you'll see the kick in the face and other parts of the beating. In a statement from the city of Monroe, the city said, "Transparency regarding the treatment of Mr. Williams has been our overarching goal since this administration became aware of his encounter with 2 patrol officers of the Monroe Police Department. We will keep our process as transparent to the public as possible within the limits of an ongoing criminal and internal affairs investigation." While body cam footage has been released, Timothy's attorneys say they need more video and pictures of Timothy's face after the incident happened. We've only seen a portion of one body cam. We want to clarify that for everyone else. That we only saw a portion of one, and then there are at least 3 to 4 other body cams that we are requesting to be released at this time, said Ms. Banks Miley, his attorney. According to brproud.com, Timothy's counsel says that this is just the beginning, and they will see it to the end. And it won't end until police reform is put into place. Co-counsel, Miss Kristen B. Pleasant, so that is one of Mr. Williams' other attorneys, said, "We need a consistent complaint system that needs to be put in place so that people that are afraid to come forward are not afraid to go to the people that work with the same person that may have used excessive force against them." I mean, you wouldn't go to the Italian mob to complain about the Italian mob, would you? I think that's the point she's trying to make there. And this is a 3-minute video that we will see of Mr. Timothy Williams of Monroe Police Department. So let's do that. Let me share the screen. 258. I will share the audio and turn off my mic, as I sometimes forget to do, because it does create an echo sometimes. So let's do that.
Stop! You're gonna get tased! Stop! Get on the fucking ground now! Stay on the ground! Do not move! Do you understand?
Are you there?
No. Stand by. Hang on. Stop! Put your fucking hand behind your back. We're over here by Rockland Squad. Look into it. In custody. Is this the same guy we got off the tower? Dispatch, you can release the channel.
1071, channel 1, dispatch clear 2327.
Let me secure my unit.
No.
I almost hit him. I came around Pine. He darted out right here. I was sitting right over there. He had a toy.
I'll tell you in a second.
Check up. Right here. You got some?
213 dispatch, I want to get out with Officer Rocco real quick.
I'm gonna pull around there. No. 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 No.
Okay, so that was Mr. Timothy Williams getting his face kicked in. Moving on, this is out of Los Angeles, California. They're the victims. Bystanders beg cops not to kill teens they mistook for criminals. When your only tool is a hammer, everything, even innocent teenage kids who were in fact victims of the crimes, begin to look like nails. Unfortunately, in the ostensible land of the free, ostensible means stated or appearing to be true, but not necessarily so. In the ostensible land of the free, most police departments have only hammers. And as TFTP reports on a regular basis, TFTP is the Free Thought Project. They cannot wait to use them. A group of teens learned this the hard way this week. Tammy Collins, the mother of one of the teens in the video below, explained that her son and his friends were attacked by a homeless man. She says multiple calls to 911 back up her claims, but when the police showed up, they held the innocent teens at gunpoint, apparently mistaking them for criminals. I wanted to share what happened to my son yesterday. This is Miss Collins in SCV when he was with a couple of friends sitting at a bus stop headed home. He was attacked by a gentleman, homeless guy, who approached them and first asked them if they had any crack, then tried to take their things. The guy became so aggressive that he took his shirt off, pulled out a knife and whip them, tried to stab them. His friends only had their skateboards to cover them from the knife and whip, so they held it out to keep distance from this guy. Several bystanders, including the restaurant manager of Buffalo Wild Wings, called the police to get help for the boys, but one caller called the police and reported two black guys are attacking a homeless guy. This is how the police responded. This is something my son and his friends will never forget. I still wonder how will I ever help my son recover from this traumatic experience. Please pray for my family. Please share to protect our kids. As the video shows, multiple bystanders are begging the cops to stop pointing guns at the victims. clearly explaining to police that the aggressor was the homeless man. "Look at this. This is crazy. It was the other guy," one bystander says. "It's not them. Get away from me," one of the sheriffs says, pointing at the person and keeping his other hand on the gun. "Back up." "They're the victims," another bystander says, as person after person tells the cops they have the wrong people. "Just keep your hands up. It'll be over soon," said someone in the crowd to the boys. As the second teen is handcuffed, one witness says, "This is sad, and they're supposed to be protecting us." "They don't care because they're black," one of the witnesses says as the boy is taken into the officer's vehicle. "This is BS. Not swearing. "These kids didn't do nothing at all." Luckily, all the children survived the interaction with the police and were then released after the cops actually found out what was going on. However, the officers' pull guns first and hold everyone at gunpoint mentality was overkill and only served to endanger the lives of the innocent children. Though the officers didn't know what they were walking into, they should have known enough that the teens were not resisting in any way and presented no threat as they were unarmed. Holding them at the barrel of an AR-15 was not only overkill but dangerous. According to Ms. Collins, the reason police responded in such a manner is because they relied on a single 911 call out of all the others, which was incorrect, and based their actions off of that one. Collins told TMZ that several 911 calls were placed, and all but one claimed the boys were the victims. One caller, however, she says, told the dispatcher 2 black guys were attacking a homeless man, which trumps the other calls. On Monday, TMZ received a statement from the LA County Sheriff's Department explaining that the 911 call came in as assault with a deadly weapon. Specifically, 2 adult males hitting another man with a skateboard. Actually, those were children. The kids were detained, and after deputies spoke with them and witnesses, they were released and no arrests were made. The department doesn't know what happened to the homeless man. I hope this video is still up. And this is from Matt Agorist. So let's see what's going on here. And this is from Miss Collins, the mother. This is from her Instagram. So let's take a peek at that. And I will share the audio and turn off my mic as I do.
Okay. You got no reason for the guns. You can put them down. Hey, come on. Get out of the way. Look at this. This is crazy.
Down the street.
And what's the other guy?
Guys, it's not
Hey, get away from me.
It's the other guy. It's the other guy. It's the other guy.
Put your guns down. They're kids. They weren't dead.
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Guys, if you're not,
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Yo, they got their friend.
Put your hands up.
I'm the manager here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
They don't care because they black. They don't care because they black. They don't care because they black.
I'm the one that called you.
They didn't do nothing at all.
Back up.
I'm the one that called you. It was not them.
They didn't do nothing wrong. They put it down.
Sir, can I please talk to you for a minute? Can I talk to someone?
They didn't call the
We can tell you, there's no reason. They're kids, bro.
Back up.
Hey, they're just kids.
Guys, back up.
We're not doing nothing. We're right here. We're not doing nothing. We're right here. We're right here.
They didn't even do nothing.
Back up.
You need to let them go. That guy is trying to get away with a knife.
I understand.
This is some bullshit, man. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. They didn't even do nothing. They didn't even do nothing.
That guy was drinking alcohol. There's a more alcohol.
They don't care because they black. They don't give a fuck. They don't care because they black. Because they black. They don't care. Because they black. That's why. Yeah, they don't care because they black. They don't care because they black. This is some bullshit. They didn't even, the kids didn't do nothing at all. Because they fucking black. That's why. Because they black. Because they black. Why are you guys doing that? This is crazy, man. This is some bullshit.
They got no weapons.
This is some bullshit. Them kids didn't do nothing at all. This is some bullshit. You guys are wasting time by arresting this kid. It's not even. They don't care. They don't care. I'm hearing my own words.
Okay, and I will I'll probably post that full video later too, just so people can watch it. And let's move on to our next story. This is out of the Midwest. This is Indiana, Clinton County. An innocent man held at gunpoint for 5 minutes for legally filming in public. Filming the police is entirely legal in every state. However, all too often we will see police officers overstep their authority and arrest, attack, and assault innocent people for the constitutionally protected act of documenting their behavior in public. I'm going to jump in here, guys. We're seeing our Constitution attacked from all sides right now, from police, from lawmakers, judges, you know, fellow citizens at times too. So this is a multi-sided attack on our Constitution, which is, you know, I think the most important document in the world. And actually, the Japanese Constitution was based off of ours. Continuing. As the following case out of Clinton County, Indiana illustrates, cops will even pull their guns on people who are exercising their First Amendment right to film in public. In the land of the free, there are ostensible checks and balances which are in place to prevent corrupt and power-drunk government officials from overstepping their authority and depriving people of their rights. The largest ostensible restraint on this power is the Constitution. However, as TFTP has reported for years, despite the fact that police swear an oath to uphold this Constitution, they are all too often the very ones who ignore it. In an exclusive interview with the Free Thought Project, activist and First Amendment auditor Floyd Wallace tells us that this week he went to Clinton County and was walking around filming in public. He had committed no crime, but for filming, apparently, set off a resident who called the police to report him for filming. Clinton County Sheriff's Deputy B. Knapp shows up to the call and is apparently afraid of his own shadow. Excuse me. Within a few seconds of arriving to Wallace's location, he pulls out his gun and points it at the innocent man. His gun would not go back in its holster for nearly 5 minutes. I was just walking around filming in public when they pulled guns on me, Wallace tells the Free Thought Project. The cop demanded that Wallace drop his phone and stop filming. But this would have ended the documentation of this incident. The officer could have shot him and simply claimed he feared for his life. And that, as they say, would have been that. Showing just how scared these deputies are of a man filming is the fact that Deputy Knapp called for backup and another deputy arrived and pointed an AR-15 at Mr. Wallace. He was then handcuffed and interrogated, again for filming. Wallace was then handcuffed and detained as a half dozen other cops show up to investigate a man filming. After Wallace refused to have his rights trampled, the cops were forced to leave as they had nothing on which to detain him. He had asserted his rights and won, luckily without being shot by these gun-happy officers. At the end of the video, Wallace confronts the people who likely reported him. They yell at him and claim that Mr. Wallace was walking on the side of a building looking in windows. Again, I don't think that's illegal, as far as I know. A claim which he denies and also has the video to prove it. Once again, this is not illegal at all, despite that. Even if Wallace was attempting to provoke a response by filming in public, his actions are not criminal, and therefore his subsequent treatment of being held at gunpoint for 5 minutes unsubstantiated. As reported before, it has been clearly established that all Americans have the right to record the police. For an officer of the law to remain willfully ignorant of this precedent is at best dereliction of duty and at worst unlawful deprivation of rights. Either way, these cops were in the wrong. As the ACLU points out, taking photographs and videography of things that are plainly visible in public spaces is a constitutional right. And that includes transportation facilities, the outside of federal buildings, police, and other government officials carrying out their duties. Unfortunately, law enforcement officers have been known to ask people to stop taking photographs of public places. Those who fail to comply have sometimes been harassed, detained, and arrested. Other people have ended up in FBI databases for taking innocuous photographs of public places. The right of citizens to record the police is a critical check and balance. It creates an independent record of what took place in a particular incident, one that is free from accusations of bias, lying, or faulty memory. It is no accident that some of the most high-profile cases of police misconduct have involved video and audio records. When police refuse to have their public service documented and this refusal morphs into kidnapping and assault, something has gone seriously wrong. No one should ever face persecution for their First Amendment rights like filming in public, especially in the land of the free. I agree. And let's just take a quick peek at this instance here. And let's see what's going on. This is the wrong video. Oh, there we go. Okay. See what's going on here. I will turn off my mic.
How you doing? I'm Deputy Knapp. Can I ask you what you're doing, man? We had a couple complaints about you. Are you able to talk with me? Please get your hands out of your pockets. Don't reach in your pocket. Show me your other hand right now. Show me your other hand right now. Show me your other hand right now. Show me your hand right now. Show me your other hand. Drop your phone.
Don't shoot me, sir.
Drop
I'm not
your
doing nothing
phone.
illegal. Look behind you, sir.
Drop your phone.
It's a camera, dude. I'm not doing nothing
Fine.
illegal.
Drop your phone. Get back.
I'm not doing nothing illegal, sir.
Drop your phone.
Why? Get supervisor here. Supervisor, please.
They're on their way.
Get supervisor, sir.
Put your hands up in the air, man.
I put it up in the air. I'm not dropping my phone, though.
Okay.
I'm documenting this whole thing. So what's your name, badge number, sir?
I'm Deputy Knapp, Clinton County Sheriff's Office, badge number 1210.
1210.
The reason I have a gun on you right now, you're reaching in your back pocket and you wouldn't put it in front of me. I don't know what you're doing, okay? What's going on?
I'm getting back up, sir. Am I being detained?
Dude, get away. Get over here.
All right. Am I
Get
being
back.
detained, sir? Am I being detained?
You absolutely are being
For what
detained.
crime, sir? For what crime? Why you got to point at me, sir?
I have a gun. I just explained that to you, all right?
What crime am I being detained for, sir? What crime are you telling me I'm committing? If you're not suspecting me of a crime, I'm going to leave. Get a supervisor.
Okay? We'll get you out of here.
Sir, you don't have a right to pull that firearm on me, sir.
I absolutely do have
No,
a
you
right.
don't.
I told you to remove your hand from your pocket. You didn't do so. I don't know what you were grabbing. You understand me?
Sir, is it because I'm black?
No, it is absolutely not because you're black. Stay black, one that doesn't know everybody.
Sir, I'm not doing nothing illegal. What crime am I being detained for? If you're not detaining me for a crime, I'm going to leave. Caribbean House says you have reasonable or ticketable suspicion of a crime.
All right, let me explain this to you.
Explain it then. I'm going to hear you.
Called here for a suspicious person with a mask on looking into the bank. I'm here to investigate that.
That's not a crime, sir.
Okay?
That's
I
not
don't know that. I have reasonable suspicion that a crime may be afoot. I have legal grounds to detain you right now. The reason I have a gun pointed at you is because you had your hand in your pocket. I asked you to remove it and show me your hands.
I don't have to do that, sir.
You shook your head no.
I don't have to do that. I'm not being detained for a crime. You have to detain me for a crime.
From a police officer.
You're being live streamed to the web right now, sir.
That's fine.
We're in Dayton, Indiana.
You're in Mulberry, Indiana.
Wait, Marbury, Indiana?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. And we're at the Farmer's Bank. Don't you shoot me. Don't.
Shoot you. Don't do anything stupid.
Well, I'm gonna keep my hands up, sir. And I'm getting up. My knees hurt. My knees hurt, sir. I'm gonna keep my hands up, though.
That's fine.
All right,
That's all
sir.
I'm asking you to do.
I got my hands up,
Don't
sir.
walk towards me.
Don't do it,
Stop.
sir. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I'm not going to
Don't
shoot
lose
you if
your-
we don't have a problem.
Don't lose your
okay?
job over this, sir.
Do not walk towards me.
I'm walking that way.
No, you're not.
No.
You're staying right here. You're detained right now.
I have to wear a mask, sir. I'm not getting in handcuffs, so don't even think you're gonna do that. So if you're suspecting me of a crime, which you have not done yet, I've been on the sidewalk the entire time. I'm doing a First Amendment audit, and obviously you failed. Obviously I got my hands up right here, my phone in my other hand. I'm not doing nothing illegal. And I'm gonna cross the street. And if you me, then that's gonna be you. That's gonna be on you, sir. So what my crime am I being detained for, sir?
I'm not looking at anybody, man.
What crime am I being detained for? I'm being racially profiled?
No, you're not.
Sir, I'm being racially look, right there. I'm going across the street, sir.
No, you're
You
not.
better not.
You are not going across the street.
For what crime,
You're
sir?
gonna Stay right there.
No, I'm not. You're not gonna put your hands on me either.
You stay right there.
Why are you detaining me? Get supervisor. You supervisor. Hey, you better pull that off. You better not point that at me.
Turn around.
No.
Turn
I'm done nothing illegal, sir.
I'm being given. You're giving a lawful.
I'm not putting my hands behind my back.
Turn around.
You better not. Get these on film because I did nothing illegal. I'm being racially profiled, guys. I've done nothing. And he's pointing a gun at me for no reason. Get supervisors, please. You're not cuffing me. That's not happening. I don't care. You're not cuffing me, sir.
Listen, you're being detained.
For what crime?
Suspicion of looking in the bank, okay?
That's not a crime, sir.
Okay, it might not be. I have a legal grounds.
I don't feel safe with those things out, sir. I don't feel safe. Please get the supervisor. That's all I'm asking. I'm not a threat. I had no ill will intent. I've done nothing illegal. And they said 2 cops. What's your name, badge number, sir? You're involved in this scene. What's your name and badge number? Okay. You're not, no, sir. Sir, did nothing illegal. Sir, not doing that. Nope. For what crime, sir?
Hey, relax.
No,
relax.
sir. I'm gonna keep
You're just
recording.
being detained. You're not being arrested. Put your hand behind your back.
For what crime, sir?
Put your hand behind your back. I have a reason. I have a legal reason to detain you until I conduct my investigation.
Sir, you don't have a right to do this.
All right. Handcuffs can come off as easily as they can go on.
Well, I want to keep recording because you're violating my rights, sir. I've done nothing
You want to
illegal.
put your phone in your pocket or give it to me? real
I'll
quick?
put it in my pocket. Let me turn off my phone. Can I do that?
Just put it in the grass. I'll put it in your pocket for you. Okay.
All right. All right. I trust you.
Just drop it.
See?
Just drop it.
I'm not doing nothing illegal, sir. All right,
That's
fine. I'll drop it. So, guys, what's your name and badge number, sir? No, what's your name and badge number, sir?
man.
So you just gonna leave like that? All right.
What's your name and badge number, man?
We're gonna give you the same respect you gave us, not to identify yourself.
Actually, it's in your departmental policy.
I'm trying to file a complaint. I want to file a complaint. He pulled a gun on me. You were respectful, bro. You came out respectful. You know, I explained I was doing a constitutional First Amendment audit. That's all I was doing. Okay. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube. People do these all the time.
And I didn't know that this was that. Okay.
There's a B on your head, man. There's a B. Yeah.
What I'm saying is what? Simply put, we just want to try and do what? Work together and communicate. I understand and I appreciate you guys expressing your what? Our constitutional rights. It's not gonna hurt you. Trust me. Okay? The simple being is when we get the call, we're going to respond to identify and find out what's going on. Okay? You have my name, Clinton County Sheriff's Office. Okay? Thank you for your cooperation at the end. Okay? Be safe.
You be safe, man.
All right.
You be safe, sir. I'm gonna walk with you. Hey, man, I'm surprised. Hey.
Hey, deputy, you might be fitting to tell them about the sort of
See that girl across the street? That's my
We can do that.
But yeah, I was doing a constitutional protected activity, man.
Now let's see if this.
Don't be racist. Don't be racist.
I'm not racist.
Don't be racist.
Yeah, black pantyhose on and
No, actually.
I want you to.
Oh, okay, can you calm down? Look, I want a reasonable dialogue.
Put the pantyhose in your hand.
Because of the COVID.
Bullshit.
Look, I'm trying to be reasonable for you guys.
So why were you crawling around looking in the windows?
I wasn't looking in the windows.
Yeah, you was. My son saw you.
I think I have it all. I have it all on video.
There's people that saw you.
I was on the sidewalk the entire time.
No, you weren't. My son saw you up against the building.
Up against the building? What?
Yes,
I got. You know, I've been recording this whole thing.
I don't give a shit.
Obviously, you're lying about it. It's cool. Y'all probably called on in and lied about it. It's cool. You know, it's part of being black. I'm not worried about
I
it.
have black friends, and I'm fine with it. I'm not against black people, dude.
That's what it is. Like I said, you're making a lie. Your son, you said your son says he saw me on their property against the window.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did. What
Okay.
pantyhose on, crawling around?
Okay. I was on the sidewalk, but I got the video, man. Like, I don't need to lie about it.
Wow. Intense stuff. Shout out to to what Oh my goodness. You're funny, Mr. Tim. Mr. Levy in the comments there. But shout out to the constitutional warrior, the white guy in the background who is actually filming that incident. It's definitely a good American citizen standing up for the rights of another American, which I think you got to definitely applaud. Definitely got to say that that woman at the end was talking nonsense. He obviously had been recording the whole time. And even if she was telling the truth, it's not illegal to look in windows. But we got a couple people, Kay, and I think Mr. Levy brought up the this girl getting arrested, Millie Weaver. And this is, is this today? What day is it today? This is today. Actually, just came out an hour ago, this particular article, but it might have happened earlier today, I'm sure. InfoWars reporter Millie Weaver arrested mid-premiere of her whistleblowing investigation into shadow government. Investigative reporter Millie Weaver, this is from RT. Millie Weaver and her husband have reportedly been arrested at the same time her documentary on the U.S. shadow government was being screened on YouTube, sending conservative Twitter into theory overdrive. Weaver's arrest at the couple's home, which has yet to be confirmed by authorities, was initially reported by InfoWars on Friday, shortly after the YouTube premiere of her documentary film, Shadowgate. That's interesting timing, to say the least. The film purports to expose the secrets of the massive deep state intelligence apparatus manipulating politics within the U.S. and beyond, based on the reports of two private intelligence whistleblowers. Video of the couple's arrest, shot by Miss Weaver herself, was posted to Twitter by her InfoWars colleague Adam Salazar, opening on Weaver asking in disbelief if a, quote, grand jury indicted her. She and her husband, Gavin Wince, were then supposedly taken into custody after being informed they'd been charged with burglary. The clip ends abruptly with Weaver urging viewers to please share this. Rumors soon emerged that the burglary concerned alleged theft of government documents related to the film, but no official confirmation has so far been released. And this tweet is from Splitter S, Baltic Design House. InfoWars' Millie Weaver has just been indicted by a grand jury and arrested for reporting on criminal activity, allegedly stealing government documents, right before she was about to release her documentary about shadow government and social media psychological warfare operations. According to Google whistleblower Zach Voorhees, Weaver was actually arrested before she could release the documentary. But one of the whistleblowers involved, codenamed Tor, released it instead. Her Twitter account, Tor says, was reportedly suspended immediately afterwards. Tor soon resurfaced on another account, accusing the state of Ohio of sitting on false charge documents against Weaver for 3 months, suggesting the indictment was months old and the arrest had been deliberately timed to coincide with the film's release. We will expose every single person involved who used a drug addict to frame Millie, the whistleblower tweeted. In another tweet, she claimed the state's justice system databases had simultaneously crashed, preventing her from finding out more information on Weaver's case. A who's who of conservative media personalities took to social media with questions, theories, and demands for Weaver's release, while #FreeMillie surfaced as a rallying cry. Some, however, suspected the arrest was a publicity stunt to push Weaver's film, pointing to various oddities around the incident. Others remarked that burglaries don't usually involve grand jury indictments. A handful of users even deemed her arrest deserved, claiming InfoWars has been calling for violence against leftists. Okay, I am calling BS on that one. At least one user made a connection between Weaver's documentary and YouTube's oddly specific new rule announced on Thursday, banning materials the platform believes to be hacked. Okay, let's take a look at this video, if it's still active, which I hope it is. Looks like it is.
Both parties are equally guilty of covering up what should turn out to be.
Oh wait, this is her. Yeah, this is up here, I think. Here it is. Give me a sec here, guys. Okay, so this is a short one. We'll pull it up. Share audio, and let me mute my mic as I do.
Okay.
This is my son right now.
All right.
Buddy.
Come on, let's go. To the car. I've been more than nice. To the car.
I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, please share this.
Break.
You're saying a grand jury indicted me? For
Well,
what?
We're going to have 221s out here. We have room to transport one. Can you send us a car, please? 9107 Yale Road. Okay. I will give you all your paperwork when we get to the jail. Right now, I need you to get some shoes.
Okay.
Because we need to get moving.
Okay.
I need to get this taken care of.
Well, this time you're not getting ever back. No.
Guys, I don't know what's happening right now. The police have just showed up at my house, and they said that they're arresting me. They said that a grand jury indicted me for something. I have no idea what. This is crazy. Where's my shoe? I have one shoe here. Okay.
And one shoe there. So we're good.
So why wasn't I given anything in the mail? Like, I have no idea what this is talking about.
Yeah, Billy.
Guys, I'm literally about to break huge breaking news right now, and I'm being arrested, and I have no idea why. Burglary? Yeah. For what? They're not even saying. They're saying
Okay.
we're being charged
Okay.
with
Now,
burglary?
is this from the grand jury or are these green sheets?
Grand jury?
Are these green sheets or are they is this an indictment? Okay, very good. Okay.
This is my son right now.
All right.
Buddy.
Come on, let's go. To the car. I've been more than nice. To the car.
I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, please share this.
Scary stuff when they are arresting white women. Tongue-in-cheek joke there, people. And God have mercy on anyone who is subject to a grand jury. We have a saying here in the United States: a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. Some saying even that, so in a grand jury, the special prosecutor has something called prosecutorial discretion, which basically means they can show whatever evidence they deem pertinent to the jury's investigation or decision, which is quite corrupt, I would say, quite dirty. I mean, it's probably the biggest. I've heard it described as the biggest farce within the U.S. justice system, prosecutorial discretion. Let's move on. This is another similar topic, of course. This is episode 1 of Back the Blue. Americans have First Amendment right to film police. The U.S. Appellate Court rules. A federal appeals court has ruled that Americans have the right to videotape police officers in public, thereby allowing a court case brought against New Hampshire police to progress. A one Miss Carla Gorecki was arrested in 2010 for videotaping members of the Weir Police Department who pulled over her friend during a traffic stop. Her video camera malfunctioned, however, and she failed to record evidence of the incident. Nevertheless, Gorecki was arrested for disobeying a police officer, obstructing a government official, and unlawful interception of oral communications. Quote, end quote. Concerning her failed efforts to record the incident, the court noted that the malfunction was irrelevant. We agree that Gorecki's First Amendment right does not depend on whether her attempt to videotape was frustrated by a technical malfunction. There is no dispute that she took out the camera in order to record the traffic stop. Although Carla Gorecki was never brought to trial, she subsequently sued the town of Weir, its police department, and the officers who arrested and charged her, alleging in pertinent part that the wiretapping charge constituted retaliatory prosecution in violation of her First Amendment rights, according to the appeal statement. The police officers involved in her arrest argued that they should be immune from a lawsuit. The First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Gorecki was exercising a clearly established First Amendment right when she attempted to film the traffic stop in the absence of a police order to stop filming or leave the area. It is clearly established in this circuit that police officers cannot, consistently with the Constitution, prosecute citizens for violating wiretapping laws when they peacefully record a police officer performing his or her official duties in a public area, the appeals court said. The First Circuit covers Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and Rhode Island, and sent the case back to a lower court for trial. The ruling allows her lawsuit to proceed. The decision comes amid a flurry of court cases involving citizens attempting to express their First Amendment rights by filming their encounters with law enforcement officers, many of whom say the recordings interfere with their work. To say nothing of the possibility that a camera may be mistaken for a weapon. You would think they would come up with a more intelligent excuse, but if you know anything about police officers' jobs and qualifications, you can actually be too intelligent to be a police officer, which I'm proud to say I am part of that demographic. So in that sense, I'm actually overqualified to be a police officer. Does that make me their boss? Who knows? I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. Earlier this month, a Massachusetts woman was charged with using a concealed mobile phone, allegedly in violation of state wiretapping regulations, to audio record her own arrest. According to Massachusetts law, citizens are permitted to record police officers in public, but only if the police have been informed that a recording is taking place. So that's in Massachusetts. This is out of, no, where is this out of? It doesn't say. Okay, so horrifying surveillance footage has surfaced, which shows multiple police officers aggressively assaulting and torturing a disabled man in his front yard after they dragged him from his home during a welfare check. That footage led to the arrest of 3 police officers, one of whom was arrested again for beating a teenager as well. Hopefully he got a child abuse charge for that. Last year, officers Brad McLeod, John Patrick Edney, and Florian Hilgar were charged for unlawful assault and assault with a weapon for beating the disabled man. This week, they were all found guilty. Excuse me. But because of their police officer statuses, this violent trio got off with a measly fine, as the judge claimed the men were of good character. Judges, oh my God, judges just have way too much power, man. However, men with good character do not do what these violent badged terrorists did. He will never be the same. He still retains that same fear of police, the victim's lawyer, Jeremy King, stated, showing just how sadistic they are. Even after being found guilty of assault, the cops still refused to apologize to their victim. Because he was not immediately arrested after video of him beating the man in his front yard, Florian Hilgar was allowed to strike again. Hilgar also faces charges in a separate incident in which he beat and severely injured a teenager with his baton. Throughout the entire debacle, give me a second. Excuse me. The officers were suspended with pay. The court had the audacity to claim this was punishment for their crimes. There's a thunderstorm happening outside. The court had the audacity to claim this punishment was for their crimes because the threat of further disciplinary action caused them stress, as well as the unflattering media attention they received. Wow, you would think they were toddlers or middle schoolers. The incident happened in September of 2017 and began over a welfare check. Notice how these welfare checks often turn into just a terrorist, implementation. John, a retiree from Melbourne, Australia, was supposed to be enjoying his golden years in peace. But after his psychologist called the police, all hell broke loose. Oh, so this is in Australia. Victoria police arrived to presumably perform an unwanted welfare check. When John refused to speak with the officers, they dragged him into the yard, beat him, pepper sprayed him, and then hosed him down with a high-pressure water hose, all while mocking him. The entire incident was caught on video, principally because the homeowner had installed a surveillance system after his house was previously burglarized. In the graphic video, Victoria police can be heard taunting the elderly man, cursing at him, beating him in the legs with their batons, and covering his face with pepper spray. "You effing idiot. You like that? Smells good, doesn't it?" the officers mocked him. A man who suffers from a bad back and emotional distress, can be heard screaming, "My back," as the pack of officers manhandle him. As the video shows, Edney is seen hitting John with his baton and stepping on his head. McLeod punched John in the stomach, sprayed him with pepper spray, and encouraged Hilgar to use the hose, which he did. The officers' true intentions were revealed when they were presumably attempting to wash off the pepper spray with which they had filled his face. When Florian Hilgar, started applying the water, the nozzle setting was set to a hose. Later, the setting was changed to spray, and a solid stream of water was applied to the man's head and face, likely injuring him further. When Hilgar noticed his fellow officer was recording with his cell phone, He stepped back as if to imply by his actions he did not want to be caught on camera abusing the man. But caught on camera he was, just not with the one he believed his colleague was holding. Upon the arrest, officers charged the man with assault, but the recording tells a much different story. Not only did John not call authorities, he asked them several times to leave him in peace. When he refused to comply with their unlawful orders, the man was violently mistreated. At the time, officials and politicians weighed in on the attack. Opposition leader Matthew Guy told reporters all Victorians will be outraged by it and called the actions of the police officers abhorrent. Acting Commissioner Luke Cornelius called the CCTV concerning and said, "Sunlight is the best disinfectant," welcoming external scrutiny of his department's actions in John's case. And it appears that external scrutiny has yielded a small victory for police accountability, although we do not know if they will be convicted. Victoria Police responded with their own statement provided to 9 News, claiming their department has no tolerance for poor behavior within its ranks. Our officers make mistakes like anyone else, and when that happens, we learn from that. Clearly, however, they do have a tolerance for this poor behavior. And now that the dog and pony show is over, these violent thugs will go back to work. Let's take a peek, shall we? Warning, this following video contains coarse language and graphic footage that may cause distress. Viewer discretion is advised. I will turn the volume up, put it on full screen, and mute my microphone as I do, so there is no feedback.
It's early evening in September 2017. 3 police cars pull up outside a house in Melbourne's northern suburbs. The disability pensioner inside the house is mentally ill and very distressed. He's been withdrawing from the pain medication prescribed after back surgery. John's medical carers have called police, worried at his deteriorating state. Police dispatch notes warn John may confront them and try to provoke them into shooting him. He also has a minor assault on his record from 10 years ago. But from behind his locked screen door, he repeatedly pleads with them to leave him alone.
No, please leave. I don't want a fucking dog. Fuck off. Fuck off. Get off my fucking property.
Not gonna happen, mate. Open the door. Mate, you don't want to break open the door.
I don't want to. I'm going for withdrawal.
Come on, John. Just want to have a shot.
No, I can't. I'm all right. I just got to get through this. All right? Get the crowbar and you have to shoot me.
Come on, John.
The police notes state that when John opened the door, he came at them with 2 raised fists. But the video appears to show him fending off an officer coming at him with capsicum spray. John has asked not to be fully identified.
Do you remember being hit?
Not really, no. I felt everything the next day, but it was more from the withdrawal and then the incident that just I went into like shock, basically. That's the word, shock.
While police pin him down, one strikes John's calf with a baton. He is punched, and his face is again sprayed with capsicum at close range.
You like that? Oh, like that? It smells good, doesn't it? Oh, get your fucking hand behind your fucking back. Oh, my back! Get your hand behind your back.
He had committed no crime. They were here for a welfare check. And for him to be treated in that way is humiliating and at the end of the day, quite degrading for anyone, let alone someone who has mental health issues and really had committed no crime.
An officer gets a hose to wash the pepper spray off John's face, aiming a jet of water at his eyes.
I thought I was going to die. I really literally thought I was going to drown. Like, I don't know, it's all girdling, like you can feel the mace and the water together in your lungs. It's a weird feeling and it's hard to explain.
An officer appears to direct his colleague to spray John a third time, so he can capture it on his mobile phone camera.
It was like a game for them. They wanted to get their rocks off, you know. I don't know. I really don't know why, you know.
John's lawyer says that what is unusual about his treatment here in his front yard is not that it occurred, it's that it was captured on CCTV, a system John installed after he was burgled. John's lawyer also says that it's telling that some of what you see in the vision was never recorded in the police reports of the incident. Not one of these officers raised any concerns about what happened in the post-incident reports.
What John's case highlights, though, is that these things do occur, and he obviously has the evidence to be able to back it up.
You've told John not to bother interacting with the police complaints system. Why is that?
Well, the police complaint system has an extraordinarily low substantiation rate. I think it's something like 9% substantiation rate was found in an IBAC audit. So I just don't think for John that really there's going to be any meaningful change if he were to complain to the police directly. I would be concerned about the investigation, about him giving a statement, about the effect on him. And then ultimately, my suspicion would be that they would find it to be unsubstantiated, and that would just cause him further distress.
Victoria's police complaints system is in crisis. The state's Independent Broad-Based Anti-Corruption Commission, or IBAC, has made multiple criticisms, from the low number of complaints that are upheld to the force's failure to weed out repeat offenders. Last week, it produced another report criticising the way police handle internal investigations of serious incidents, including that it fails to consider relevant evidence and gives too much weight to police testimony over independent witnesses.
A lot of the time people don't want to complain directly to the police because they're worried about the inherent conflict in complaining to police and police investigating their own. But then the problem is they complain to IBAC, and IBAC refers over 90% of those back to the police to complain.
There's conflict of interest everywhere. It's a question of how you manage the conflict of interest.
Former Judge Michael Strong was the head of Victoria's Office of Police Integrity until its functions were absorbed into the IBAC.
The only way you could remove all potential conflict of interest is to have every complaint against police investigated by an independent agency. I would like to see more of the more serious complaints against police independently investigated, but that's a resourcing issue.
In the heat of confronting a violent criminal, the line between reasonable and excessive force can be difficult to define. This 3-year-old is trying to hold up a pharmacy in Melbourne's north with a pair of scissors. He's having a psychotic episode and has already violently assaulted 4 people outside. When bystanders try to take him down, one receives a wound to his head. Finally, police arrive, and this is where lawyers say police cross the line. He no longer has the scissors he's been using as a weapon. He's face down on the floor and is punched repeatedly as police try to put him in handcuffs. He's kicked to the head. Then the officer pulls out his baton and hammers it down. More police arrive and he is handcuffed, but then the officer stomps on his back. Minutes later, he kicks out at the officer and is thrown to the ground. He later pleaded guilty to armed robbery and assault and was last year jailed for 2 years and 9 months. His lawyer, Natasha Wallen, says a complaint of excessive force was lodged with Victoria Police's Professional Standards Command.
He suffered significant facial injuries. Most of his teeth were snapped. He's got ongoing back issues. He was taken to hospital directly after the incident because he wasn't deemed to be fit enough to be in police custody.
The complaint was dismissed. At the time, the officer in charge of professional standards was Assistant Commissioner Brett Guerin, who quit the force in disgrace in February after it was revealed he'd used a fake identity to post violent and racist rants online. Many may find it difficult to have much sympathy for a violent offender who assaulted members of the public and threatened shop staff. But the integrity of the criminal justice system relies on the courts and not the cops being responsible for punishing offenders. Meanwhile, those who've been through the police complaint system alleging brutality say it is failing. And the only way to hold police to account is to launch an expensive civil action. Jessie Scarlett Rhodes sued police after receiving these injuries during an arrest after a night out with friends in Sunbury. The arrest happened after her husband, who was on medication, started vomiting in a laneway outside this pub. She was tending to him when they were approached by 4 police officers, who shone a light in her face and demanded ID. She swore at them.
And then the next thing I knew, I was violently forced down to the ground. I had a fracture on the top of my nose. I had a concussion. I had grazing and bruising. So my eyebrow and my cheekbone were cut open.
Jessie lodged a complaint with police but got nowhere. Instead, she was charged with assault and presented with a choice: accept a criminal diversion and avoid a conviction, or fight it and risk having a criminal record. Jessie accepted the diversion, but then decided to launch her own action, a civil case.
It was really tough. It's a very long process, very stressful. I felt I had no other option at that stage. I couldn't walk away because I felt like, I just felt like my innocence and it had all been taken away from me on that night, and my rights.
She won, a county court judge finding she'd been improperly arrested, had been thrown headfirst into a police van, had her rights trampled and been subject to disgraceful treatment at the hands of police. She was awarded $86,000 in compensation.
It's not right and it needs to be changed. The complaint situation with how complaints are handled, that needs to be changed.
Assistant Commissioner Luke Cornelius is now in charge of professional standards. He says since we made police aware of the CCTV, both incidents have been referred to the IBAC.
The conduct displayed on the CCTV demanded examination and explanation. The members involved clearly needed to be called to account for their conduct.
It's wrong, you know, what, because you've got a badge and a gun, you can be judge and jury, whatever you want to call it, you know, it's wrong. These guys, they've got everything on them to restrain a person. There's no need for that. You know, all they had to do was let me be.
Okay. It's definitely sad. Let's continue on. And this is out of Hayward, California. Make sure my mic is working. Yep. 3 cops surround unarmed man, block him in, and fill him with holes for backing up in his car. Hayward, California. Stoney Ramirez, age 23, was a person of interest in the death of a man at a homeless camp in Hayward in May of this year. Police eventually located Ramirez 3 weeks later, and moments after finding him, he'd be shot more than a dozen times for backing out of a driveway. Police have not yet said how they were able to link Ramirez to the May 1st killing or what the man's connection to the neighborhood was. However, when they found him on the 20th of May, parked in a driveway in Hayward, they unloaded on him before they could find out if he was guilty or not. For nearly 3 months, police withheld the body camera footage. When asked why, the department claimed it initially withheld the footage to, quote, preserve the integrity of the investigation. Hayward Police Chief Tony Chaplin said, "We take the use of force very seriously, especially when it results in death. We're sharing this information with our community so you have as much information as possible to create additional transparency as the department continues to investigate this matter." As the video shows, Ramirez refused to get out of the car. This may have been due to the fact that the car was stolen, so he was planning his escape. "Keep your hands up," an officer says, gun in hand, hands up. Shortly after the police ordered him out, Ramirez tried to make that escape. Ramirez first backed up and rammed the police SUV behind him before pulling forward and backing up again. As the man backed up a second time, he essentially pinned himself in. Despite the fact that he appeared to be trapped, police decided to open fire anyway. From the footage, we can see that 2 officers opened fire behind the vehicle, hitting Ramirez, likely due to the fact that he'd just been shot and was dying. Ramirez didn't or couldn't put the car in park, so another officer in front of the vehicle fired several more shots through the windshield, ensuring this young man's death. A passerby described hearing the gunfire. "I had heard 12 shots, and it was like 8 shots and then quickly 4 more," said Nicholas Gary. As far as what police told me, they said that there was someone in pursuit and that a car was rammed, and then shots were fired, but that's kind of vague, and they wouldn't really tell me anything after that. According to Hayward Police Chaplain, an investigation into the shooting is now underway. They assure the public that this will be an unbiased examination of what took place. The department recognizes and respects the value of all human life and dignity without prejudice to anyone. Vesting officers with the authority to use reasonable force and to protect the public welfare requires monitoring, evaluation, and a careful balancing of all interests. The Hayward Police Department objectively reviews and evaluates all reportable uses of force and reportable show force incidents. This department conforms to the Alameda County Officer-Involved Shooting Protocol for investigating officer-involved shootings. Officer-involved shootings and in-custody deaths are investigated in a thorough, fair, and impartial manner. TFTB is predicting that the investigation into this incident will result in all the officers being cleared and Stoney Ramirez's death justified. We will update you when the results are released. Oh, wow, this is unlisted. This video is unlisted, people. I'm definitely going to be putting this up on my channel.
Ramirez was a person of interest in the May 1st homicide at the homeless.
Okay, let's pull this up so we can take a peek. I skipped to the action. There is a brief intro from one of the cops, but let's take a peek here, and I will turn off my mic as I do so there's no feedback.
Watch out. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Oh, fuck. Put it out. Put it out. Get your hands up now. Put it out. Get Get your hands up! Hey, stop! Turn it off! Turn it off! Hey, watch the house. Coming around. Stop! Keep your hands up. All right, hey, relax. Come back here, Dino. Come back here. Hey, stay off the air. Tech 2, we have one down in the car. We have a couple people in the house. Stay right there. Stay off the air. Tech 2, all officers are code 4. And we're just going to wait for some other units before we go from here. Tech 2 negative. Wildwood and Kelly. It's 22781 Wildwood. Ma'am, you need to stop. Stay right there. Sit down. Sit down on the ground and stay there. And Tech 2, once we get a few more here, we have no movement in the car. We'll get them out, and I know we got fire on the way. I just need you to stay calm right there. Tech.
I think we've seen enough of that one. Let's move on. Yeah, I noticed that too, Tim. They shot him, killed him, and then told him to turn off the engine. Yeah, that usually works. Okay, this is out of Nashville, Tennessee, in the southern United States. I've been to Memphis. I've never been to Nashville. I just stopped in Memphis once on a road trip, so that's the only time I've ever actually been in Tennessee. But we have a power-tripping maskless cop rips man's mask off and gets in his face for filming. Yet again, this time the videographer is a white man. Again, we're out of Nashville here in Tennessee. Filming the police is, and this is Mr. Matt Agorist again. So shout out to Mr. Agorist. Agorist, I think that's how you say it. Filming the police is entirely legal in every state. However, all too often we will see police officers overstep their authority and arrest, attack, and assault innocent people for the constitutionally protected act of documenting their behavior in public. As the following case out of Nashville illustrates, many cops could not care less. He used it correctly. I love it. I love this guy already. You know, just quick time out here. Could care less means you care a lot, and there's a degree to which you could care less. If you want to say you don't care at all, you say you couldn't care less. Okay, English speakers, I'm tired of hearing you hear everybody mess this up. Okay, anyways, grammar lesson over. As the following case out of Nashville illustrates, many cops could not care less about your First Amendment right to film them and will violate their oaths to the Constitution to carry out their tyrannical hatred for police accountability. Andrew Golden, a police accountability activist, was practicing his constitutionally protected right to film in public this week when he was assaulted by Tennessee State Trooper Harvey Briggs. In a Facebook post, Andrew Golden explained what happened. Tonight, around 6:35 p.m. Central Standard Time, I followed a citizen who was pulled over by Tennessee State Troopers for the purpose of filming their interaction. Excuse me. As I approached the vehicles, while remaining a safe distance away on a public sidewalk, a trooper shouted at me, "Get back," or something similar to that. I responded colorfully that I was on a sidewalk and that I am filming. Apparently, he did not approve of my verbiage because he then begins to threaten me by saying, "Go ahead and use that language again, young man." As the video shows, the trooper snapped and walked over to Andrew Golden like a drill instructor in boot camp. He had his head down and finger pointed at Golden like he was a recruit. "Don't use that language again," Briggs can be heard saying in the video. "You don't talk to me like that. I prefer better language than that out of you." When I asked him what he is threatening me with, he approaches me and says that I will be arrested if I impede with a traffic stop. I ask the trooper why his hand is on his gun, to which he responds, "Because that's the way it always is." He then steps on my foot, which is battery, by the way, while getting directly in my face, all without wearing a mask. The trooper gets uncomfortably close to Golden's face, with his face, nearly touching him with his nose. Had Golden done this to a trooper, rest assured, he would have been beaten, kidnapped, and caged. I don't argue with that. However, because Briggs wears a badge, he gets a pass. Though it is not seen on the video, Briggs allegedly rips off Golden's single mask, and throws it to the ground. Absolutely dumbfounded, I begin asking the other troopers if they were going to do anything, Golden said. I was met with a blank stare. Seconds later, Trooper Briggs straight up says, "No, I did not," when I shout about him ripping my mask off my face. "I'm tired of you people making stuff up." But when Golden tells him he has it on video, the trooper walks away silently, as they do. After the video began to go viral on Tuesday, the Tennessee Highway Patrol announced an investigation into Briggs. As COVID-19 cases continue across the nation, more than 20 states have imposed mandatory mask laws, forcing citizens to wear masks in public or else. While many people praised the mandate, others did not. And as the video above shows, the ones who are tasked with enforcing the mask laws are not even wearing them. And they are reportedly going further by ripping the masks off of citizens too. In Nashville, it is against the law not to wear a mask. Last week, the mayor announced that police will be targeting those without a mask for extortion. That is scary. There is clear signage on Broadway reminding persons that the mask mandate has the force of law. Persons in violation can receive a Metropolitan Government citation for adjudication in an environmental court or a state of Tennessee criminal misdemeanor citation. Under state law, violation of the health department's mask order is a Class C misdemeanor, the statement read. This week, TFTP also reported on Metro Nashville at-large council member Sharon Hurt, who suggested charging people with attempted murder or murder for refusing to wear a mask. If they pass the virus, then they are tried for murder or attempted murder, Hurt said. It is important to point out that fining or arresting people for not wearing a mask certainly borders on the verge of tyranny, and we do not support such laws. This is Mr. Agarist again. Wearing a mask should be a non-political issue, done voluntarily for the benefit of containing a virus, not used as a government tool to extort and arrest citizens. I wholeheartedly agree. I wear my mask when I go out most of the time. Sometimes I forget. But I don't think it should be mandated. We live in a republic. But when cops clearly ignore the law and go as far as ripping masks from the faces of those who wear them, we have a serious problem. Oh gosh. Mr. David Hall comments, those POS pigs will never change. Have to disband or kill all the sadists. 10 upvotes on that comment. Mr. PC comments, they are brainwashed automatons. 9 upvotes on that one. Mad Dog, put him down. 8 upvotes on that comment. Let's take a peek at Mr. Briggs and his act of tyranny, shall we? I will put this on high quality. And I will, well, I gotta share the screen first. Share the audio, and I will put it on full screen and turn off my mic so there's no feedback.
I'm filming and I'm on a fucking sidewalk. I'm on a public sidewalk. I'm on a sidewalk. I'm on a sidewalk. What are you trying to do? But what were you threatening with me with again, sir?
Sir, if you impede these gentlemen right here, we're going to have an arrest.
Am I impeding them? I'm filming them.
Impede, I'm telling you.
I have a
You
lawful
impede them,
right.
Okay?
I understand that.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
Cool.
And when you address me, you use less colorful language also.
I don't think I have to do
I don't
any of that,
appreciate
sir.
that.
Sorry, I don't appreciate what y'all do.
It doesn't even concern you. That
Yeah,
doesn't
this
concern
does.
you.
It absolutely does. How does it not?
Do not impede those
I'm not
officers.
impeding them.
I'm telling you. Do not impede
What
those
is your?
officers.
Why is your hand on your gun?
Because that's the way it always is.
Okay. You're not wearing a mask? And you're right up in my face? Look at this. What the fuck is your friend doing over here?
Do not impede them.
I'm not
understand?
impeding. What? Brick? Oh, you're Briggs. Oh
Yes,
my
I am.
God. Yeah. Okay. What the fuck?
Don't impede
You
those
gonna do
officers.
something about that? You just ripped the fucking mask off my face.
Come on.
What the fuck?
What I say about the language now?
You just ripped a mask off my face.
I did not.
I have it on film.
Oh, come on. I'm tired of you people making stuff up.
What do you mean, you people? I have it on film. Tired of me making it up. I ain't gonna film it. Don't go back.
Mic back on. That is interesting. I will definitely be re-uploading that to my channel and my B&T as well. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, this is... I won't read this whole argument, excuse me, article, but just the title, I think, should pretty much say all that needs to be said on that. In the midst of a police brutality epidemic, Tone Deaf Dems nominate Queen of Police State for VP. Of course, I am referring to Mr. Kamala Harris. Yeah, I mean, it's just hypocritical, man. They're trying to enforce masks while not even wearing them themselves. And then the dude rips the mask off. Just trying to provoke him, obviously. Not to mention, that was assault. That was 2 instances of assault and battery. Okay, continuing. This is out of Kansas, Midwest again. Spring Hill, Kansas. Police threaten family at their home after complaining on Facebook that a cop killed their dog. The family says that they were harassed by police after they made a Facebook post complaining about how an off-duty officer shot and killed their dog and got away with it. Cops actually showed up to their home after complaining about their dog's death on Facebook. Brittany Knudsen says that her dog was shot and killed while in the front yard of her home earlier this year. Knudsen says that on the day her dog Nala was shot, she went outside and saw Mark and Jessica Cantrell standing across the street. Mark Cantrell is an Olathe police officer, and Jessica is an Overland Park animal control officer. The Cantrells say that Nala attempted to attack them and their dog, but there is no evidence of any attack. And Nala was in her own yard at the time of the shooting. According to the report, when she got to the front, Brittany saw the family's Great Dane, Nala, collapsing into the arms of her husband, John. Three-year-old Nala had a gunshot wound to her side. Air was pouring out. She was struggling to breathe. Darla Yamada, a neighbor who was nearby at the time of the incident, said that she did not hear any commotion before the gunshot. I didn't hear any commotion. No growling, fighting, anything like that amongst the dogs. I heard nothing but the gunshot, Miss Yamada said. Knudsen called 911 and police arrived to interview the Cantrells, who claimed that they were attacked by Nala, but admitted that they were not injured and neither was their dog. Just another reason to get cameras up, people. Put cameras up in your house, outside of your house, in your garage, outside your garage, and make sure they're working. I need to do this. I'm going to do this as soon as I am able to. Where am I? Knudsen says that they lost a member of their family, and she is also upset that someone would be so quick to fire a gun in a neighborhood filled with children. It is concerning that as a police officer, that would be his first thought, his first action. Rather than de-escalate the situation and shoo her away or call for help, he decided to pull his gun and shoot her. There were multiple witnesses who disputed Cantrell's statement, but because he is a police officer, the other cops that were called to the scene sided with him. No charges were filed against Mark Cantrell, and the police report even listed him as the victim. Do you like my Sean imitation there? As the victim? In the following weeks, the Knudsens tried to follow up with police about the incident, but they were ignored until they made a post on Facebook complaining about what had happened. Man, it's turning into the UK with this social media monitoring. After they made the post, an officer came to their home and threatened them with harassment charges for posting about the incident. The post was not threatening at all. Excuse me. And I will read the post to you. No, it won't. It's super long. I will. I'll put it in the description box if people want to read it. From Miss Brittany Knudsen. You know what I might do? I actually might reach out to these people for an interview. Hopefully they respond. But if her Facebook's still active, which it looks like it is. Rest in peace to Nala. Man, it just hurts me almost more when dogs die, you know. Knudsen's attorney, Eric Crinian, told Fox 4KC that people often have no choice but to take their grievances to social media when the police are ignoring accusations about one of their own. Mr. Crinian, their attorney, said for an officer to show up at their house even after a complaint by Officer Cantrell was a little bit surprising and a little bit concerning. I don't think people understand why victims in these cases resort to social media. If it weren't for social media, they never would have met me and they never would have gotten the media involved. Go internet. Crinian was correct, and after the family got their lawyer involved and shared their story with the local media, the police have begun to take the situation more seriously. And the county's district attorney is finally considering possible criminal charges. According to an unofficial count done by an independent research group, Ozymandias Media, love the name, that's my nickname, guys, Ozymandias. A dog is shot by law enforcement every 98 minutes. That is sad. That is really sad. I saw this one video, and let me see if I can remember to pin it, of a officer, I think it was in Florida, attempted to shoot a woman's dog, but instead completely missed and killed her instead. And of course, nothing happened. There's no excuse for that, man. Like, unless it's a pack of like 8 dogs, 8 fully grown dogs, you're not in danger from a single dog. Even a Great Dane, pit bull, Cane Corso, big male 160-pound Cane Corso, I can take on a Cane Corso just fine, and I think even any adult woman would be able to fend off, you know, themselves from a single dog as well. So you know, I just don't think there's any justification for killing dogs like that. Yeah, man, it's just like, you know, when I'm gonna get a dog eventually, a couple of dogs, once I am in a situation where it's affordable. Can't really afford a dog at the moment, but yeah, man, I don't know. I would be quite. I would have to exercise a lot of restraint not to physically retaliate. Let's put it euphemistically, against someone who attacked my dog. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is out of North Carolina, Winston-Salem. 5 deputies charged after video, shout out to video, showed them restrain and assault a man for having a seizure until he died. After the death of Eric Garner in 2014, which, if people don't remember, maybe my UK folk aren't completely familiar with that case. He was a New York man who was choked to death by police officers for selling illegally selling cigarettes. So he was, I can't think of the word, you know, just selling cigarettes illegally, right? The phrase, "I can't breathe," has become a chilling symbol for violence doled out at the hands of the state. TFTP has reported on multiple instances in which entirely peaceful and often innocent people have muttered those words just before police officers squeeze the last bit of life from their bodies. George Floyd's last words also partly consisted of "I can't breathe." Since his death, it has been reported, TFTP has reported on a half-dozen instances or so in which the victims of police violence have managed to say those words just before they die. "If you can talk, you can breathe" is the most common response from officers when they squeeze the life out of people in their custody. Unfortunately, however, these cops are almost always wrong. Mr. John Neville begged for his life as multiple deputies piled on top of him as he had a medical emergency. The incident began when Neville was found semi-conscious on the floor of his jail cell. The deputies continue telling Neville to, quote, "calm down," but Neville eventually panics and tries to stand up. "You had a seizure," the nurse said. "They're just taking care of you. They're doing this so you don't hurt yourself." "You're going to be all right, buddy," a deputy says. "You're going to be all right. You're having a bit of a medical episode here." "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Help," Neville says, as deputies retorted, "If you can talk, you can breathe." But Neville was telling the truth. He could not breathe. Neville was being held down on his stomach, begging to be rolled over so he could catch his breath, but the deputies refused. He asked them over 30 times. Every one of the requests were denied. The deputies had put broken handcuffs on Neville and were unable to get them off Apparently, this was humorous to the deputies, who began to laugh about it. Whose cuffs are those? A voice out of sight of the camera asks. Whose cuffs are on Neville? A deputy says they are his. The voice responds, that's coming out of your paycheck, and the deputies laugh. One deputy tells others he knows they're enjoying holding down Neville before offering them a break if they need it. After a straight 11 minutes with cops on top of him, Neville fell unconscious and stopped breathing. You guys killed him, someone shouted. You killed him. He was transported to the hospital, but would not make it. According to the News and Observer, quote, an autopsy report listed his cause of death as a lack of oxygen that led to a heart attack and brain injury from being held in prone restraint. That technique of holding prisoners on their stomach with their arms handcuffed behind their backs and their ankles raised to their wrists is controversial across the country because of the number of deaths it has caused. On July the 8th, 2019, 7 months after Neville died, Forsyth County District Attorney Jim O'Neill announced felony involuntary manslaughter charges against the 6 people involved, a nurse and 5 deputies. Those charged are identified as deputies Sarah E. Poole, Antonio M. Woodley, Christopher Stamper, Corporal Edward J. Rousel, and Sergeant Lavette M. Williams. The nurse is Michelle Huggins. For months, the News and Observer fought for the release of the video, but the district attorney denied it. On July the 31st, 2020, Superior Court Judge Greg Horn ordered the sheriff's office to provide 2 of the videos to the Media Coalition by noon on Wednesday. The videos were finally released. After the release of the videos, Neville's children and dozens of others led a peaceful protest Wednesday night. Winston-Salem Mayor released the following statement regarding the video of Neville's death. We are living in challenging times, and this is a difficult day for our city. The video of Mr. Neville's death is painful to watch, and understandably, it is giving rise to strong emotions. Anyone who has seen the video can fully understand why the Neville family initially asked that the video remain private, and yet they had put the community's need for transparency above their own need for privacy. Over the past weeks, our citizens have come together to protest injustice, and I support their right to protest peacefully. I agree that all the facts and information in this case must be made public. Excuse me. Thus far, the process has worked. Charges have been filed and the video has been released. Today, I am asking all our citizens to remain peaceful and resist the urge to do something destructive. Let us follow the example of the Neville family and put the good of the community before our own emotions. For justice to prevail, we have to allow the judicial process to move forward. I am keeping the Neville family in my prayers, and I ask everyone in the community to do the same. Unfortunately enough, this video is eerily similar to the one TFTP reported on Wednesday. In that case, a man was put into a restraint chair during a medical emergency and was not removed until he died. Unlike Neville's death, however, none of the officers involved in the death of Shaheen Mackey were charged. Below are the videos. Warning, they are disturbing. let's watch some of this, and then I'll post the rest later. Okay, so this is not unlisted, which is good. And I will share the audio and put it on high quality and full screen and mute my mic so there's no feedback.
Hey, John. You doing okay, buddy? No. All right, listen. We're helping you. We got medical here. Good. Listen to me. You got a medical issue going on. You need to calm down. Okay? All right, bud.
Corporal, did she get the blood pressure?
No, she never got it.
Leave him in the chair and let her get the blood pressure.
Can we do it in the multi-purpose room?
Yes. Have her assess them over there and then we'll move it.
Is LT here?
She is.
All right, let her know I want all this closed, just in case. John, you listening to me?
I am.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen,
Oh.
you're having a medical
Push
issue.
me out, push me forward.
Listen to me. You're
Help
having.
me.
We're helping you, okay?
My sound's in forward.
The
Take
nurse
it
is
back.
gonna check you out. She's gonna check your blood pressure, okay? All right, bud. All right, the nurse is gonna take your blood pressure, John, okay?
Good.
All right, buddy.
Hey, John, I'm the nurse. How you doing? Do you know where you are? You don't know where you are? You don't know your Forsyth Detention Center? Okay. Stay relaxed for me, okay? Stay relaxed. Hey, John. Stay relaxed for me. I gotta take your blood pressure, okay? Stay
Oh,
relaxed.
was he a watch by chance?
No, keep it down. Relax. It's okay. You're okay.
Pull my head down. Put your head down. Pull it down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, pull it, boy, baby. Oh. Sit. The fuck, man?
Sit still so she can take your blood pressure.
Help me. Help. No, shit, help me.
John, we're helping you right now. We're helping you.
Please. Help me up home, get something. Help me, somebody. Help me, somebody. Shit.
John, I'm trying to help you. You need to calm down. Okay?
2B01.
Going to end stuff, you guys.
Calm down.
We got one further down. So we don't have to do that corner.
Number 6, number 6.
Let's do that. So it's a straight shot in. Matt on the floor, it's already.
Woody, me and you, number 2. 3 and 4, 1 here as well to help the leg. Okay. You're gonna go in, put them down. Shackles first. Everybody clear? Just make sure you maintain control. Grab all those ankles. We're gonna take you out of the chair, John. I need you to relax. Okay?
Oh, shit. My nose.
I need you to relax, John.
I need to stick my shirt.
I need you to
Please,
relax.
please.
You guys ready? Okay.
Please. No, bro. Put
Relax.
something
Take
in.
this off. Relax.
Oh, no.
Relax.
Put it out. Put it down. Put it down. Push it down. Push it down. Oh.
Let go. Let it go. All right, John, you can stand up, buddy. Come on. Yep.
My back.
Come
Hold my wrist.
on. There you go.
My
Step
wrist.
on in the cell.
My wrist.
Step on in. Step on in. Right on that mattress, buddy. Step on the mattress. Put heel down. There you go. We're getting off.
Let me somewhere else, please. Please. Please.
Y'all be careful because he's got some.
Please. Help me. Oh, shit. My leg. Oh, help. Let me go. Look on my leg. John.
John, we're trying to get this stuff
Please,
off.
yes.
You need to relax, buddy.
Please, my wrist. Help.
You need to relax.
Help, my wrist. Help. Oh, shit. Baby. Help me.
Okay.
Help me. Shit, I can't breathe. Help. Oh. I can't breathe. Help. Oh.
Alright, I need you to relax.
Get off my wrist. I can't breathe. Get off my
I
wrist.
hear you.
Get off my wrist. I can't breathe.
You're talking. You're
I
breathing.
can't breathe.
I can't.
Help. God damn it, pull me up. Please. Please. Turn it over. Turn it over. Please.
You need to relax so I get the cuffs off.
Please, so I get this loose. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Help. Help. Shit.
John, you gotta relax.
Let me go. Let me go. I can't breathe. Let me go. Please. Please. I can't breathe. Please. Tony. Hear what I said. I can't breathe. Help. Help.
I need someone in here with a flashlight, please.
Help me. Please. I'm not going
Over
there.
up here.
I'm not going there.
Flashlight again so I can see the.
Sure. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Let me go. Let me go.
John, you need to stop so I can get these off.
I can't breathe.
You're breathing, you're talking.
I can't breathe.
Stop moving. Stop moving.
I can't breathe. Shit. Shit, I can't breathe. Help. Help me, please. 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 Can't breathe. Help me. Help me. Help me. Please. Help me.
Right off. Don't turn. Don't turn.
I can't breathe. Help me.
John, stop.
I ain't doing shit. Help.
So as we do know, he ended up dying from lack of oxygen shortly thereafter. And I'll probably mirror those videos on my channel as well, but let's move on. Okay, we are, this is on the 5th, it's about a week ago, but out of Miami Beach, Florida, heading down to the south. On December 18th of 2018, let me just double check, make sure my mic's going. Check. Yep. December 18th, 2018, Miami Beach police officer Adriel Dominguez lost his temper and delivered a haymaker to the face of Lowell Poitier Jr., sending the innocent man crashing to the ground. The entire incident, which unfolded in 2018, was captured on body camera and the public only knew about it because two good cops would show it to them. They do exist. For the last 2 years, an internal investigation, quote unquote, has been underway, which wrapped up recently. One would think that the two cops who showed a criminal cop punching an innocent man would be given a promotion and the bad cop fired and charged, right? Wrong. Instead of Dominguez facing charges of assault for attacking Poitier, he was cleared of any wrongdoing. And instead of promoting the two cops who exposed a bad cop within their ranks, internal affairs investigators gave Miami Beach police officer Alfredo Garcia a written warning for, quote, producing and distributing an unauthorized version of recordings, end quote, from his body camera. And Officer Frederick Dominguez received a notice of a 10-hour suspension for releasing a copy of the tape made by Garcia to his attorney, Michael Pizzi. Okay, so a little confusing. The criminal police officer, his last name is Dominguez, and one of the cops who released the video, his last name is also Dominguez, just for clarification. The two cops are now seeking whistleblower protection. According to the report, Garcia filmed a copy of the body camera video on his cell phone and then gave that to Officer Frederick Dominguez, not, what's his name, Adriel, who was the batterer, who then released it. Just like that, the bad cop gets a pass and the two good cops are punished for crossing the thin blue line. The incident unfolded in December of 2018 at the Pelican Hotel. According to police, Poitier was being loud and smoking a cigar, which bothered other customers, as the Miami Herald reports. According to internal affairs investigators, when Garcia and Adriel Dominguez arrived, they spoke to the manager and asked Poitier to leave. Then the report says Poitier, who is black, swore at the officers and called them crackers. Video of the confrontation shows Poitier walk toward Adriel Dominguez and put his face within inches of the officer's face. The officer then grabs Poitier briefly with his left hand and cold cocks him with a right, sending him crashing to the ground. Some parts of Poitier's arrest report didn't seem to match what was seen on the video. In the report, police wrote that Poitier clenched his fist and took a fighting stance. That didn't seem to be the case in the video. Despite the false claims in the report, Poitier was charged with resisting arrest without violence and disorderly conduct. However, after the facts of the case showed that Poitier was the victim and not the aggressor, all such charges were dropped. David Cubillion, an attorney who represents Mr. Poitier, said they're now pursuing a civil suit against the department for excessive force. As the newspaper reports, the information on the Miami Beach police officers came to light after a recent public records request by the Miami Herald. In the closeout memo that cleared Adriel Dominguez, the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office said the officer could have believed Loyal Poitier Jr. was, quote, about to hit him, end quote. Thus, Officer Dominguez had the right to protect himself, wrote Assistant State Attorney Sandra Miller Batiste in the investigation, which cleared Dominguez. Tuesday, Miami Beach Police Chief Richard Clements justified the officer's unprovoked knockout punch by claiming there is a side to police work that, quote, doesn't always look good, but falls within the guidelines of what officers are trained to do. I believe this is one of those cases, said the chief. He was in what the officer perceived to be a fighting stance. In that case, the officer reverted back to his training. It was a distractionary blow. Naturally, the whistleblower cops and their attorney disagree. Pizzi says, what a disgrace. Based on the way this was handled, it's open season on innocent people. It's outrageous. Again, Pitsy is the attorney for the whistleblower cops. Agorist writes, we agree. When good cops are punished for blowing the whistle, while the bad ones get a pass, any talk of reforming America's police problem is pointless. Let's take a peek at this, shall we? Short video. Oh, whoops. Let me just, oh yeah, this is what I gotta do. I will share audio and mute my mic so no one gets any feedback.
I thought they wanted to fire there for a second. I was like, what's this guy doing now? ¡Oh! ¡Mira eso! ¡Oh!
Okay. Let us go to our next article. This is from the 6th. We are heading back to the Midwest, Pennsylvania, in Luzerne County. In June of this year, the family of Shaheen Mackey received a notification of a $3 million settlement from the Luzerne County Council. Shaheen Mackey, 41 years old, spent his last moments alive, surrounded by a dozen cops, tied to a restraint chair with a towel over his face, screaming in agony as he was repeatedly tasered to death. Despite the facts of the case, a coroner's report would rule that Mackey, quote, died of natural causes, end quote, and all the officers involved in torturing him to death were cleared. When you watch the video, you will understand how big of a farce this actually was. Mackey's death registered as little more than a blip in the media after it happened on the 8th of June, 2018. After all, without video, we would have no way of disputing the official word of the officers involved. But Mackey's family did not buy the official story and pushed for justice for 2 years. It's Luzerne County finding Luzerne County not at fault. There should have been an investigation by someone other than the DA, Mackey family attorney Theron Solomon said after the officers were cleared in the investigations of themselves. According to the Luzerne Observer reporter, it is common practice for District Attorney Stephanie Salvantis to rescue herself from cases involving allegations against police officers or departments within her jurisdiction and forward them to state prosecutors. But this time, Salvantis decided not to rescue herself and instead successfully pushed for the officers involved to be cleared. At the time, Salvantis said Mackey suffered from severe coronary artery disease and that the sudden, lengthy, and violent outburst he initiated led to his death from heart failure. She said the video, give me a sec. She said the video backed up this claim, yet no one was allowed to see it. It is also likely the reason they made Mackey's attorney agree not to release it, even after the settlement was reached. But this is 2020, and it was released anyway. Yeah, 2020 is it's a different animal, isn't it? This week, the video was leaked online by a friend of the family. It is nothing short of utterly horrifying. According to the official report, Mackey was arrested on June the 6th. He was alleged to have violated a protective order. He was only in jail a short time, approximately 4 hours, when he suffered a medical emergency and, quote, inexplicably began screaming and making loud noises as though arguing with himself. According to police, he was drooling and ripping out his hair. According to his family, Mackey was suffering from a seizure, and instead of getting him medical help, he was savagely attacked. Instead of treating the situation as the medical emergency that it was, the correctional officers treated Mr. Mackey's convulsions with more physical force, said the complainant, which alleged they placed Mackey in a position, that restricted his breathing before using tasers on him at least 20 more times. Tasers is capitalized. I'm not sure why tasers is capitalized. When the video starts, Mackey is already in the restraint chair and doesn't appear to be any threat whatsoever as he is strapped in. He is simply moaning and squirming. This mother expletive, he's strong, one officer said. I just don't know what he's on. Probably meth. When they get pumped on meth, they get power like this. Just make sure you control that other expletive hand. Despite the officer's expert opinion, it was determined that Mr. Mackey had no drugs in his system, indicating he was indeed having a medical emergency. Shortly after the 8-minute mark, the sound of tasers firing can be heard. It's not even affecting him, one officer said. It's doing nothing. He don't even feel it. There's no point in utilizing him. A short time later, another voice is heard saying, make sure he can breathe. But he could not breathe. Mackey was unresponsive and limp in the chair. The experts then tried to revive him with Narcan, which is used to revive heroin overdoses. Predictably, it was unsuccessful. Nurses then arrive and discover that Mackey is in full cardiac arrest, and he is finally removed from the chair after being unresponsive and not breathing for nearly 3 minutes. According to his family, who posted pictures of it online, after he was severely beaten and tasered until death, police then handcuffed his dead body to a hospital gurney. His family then took photos of his injuries, pointing out that he was covered in bruises and had multiple broken bones. Possibly the reason he was moaning in agony as a dozen cops piled on top of him. As stated above, it took less than 6 months for the DA to justify Mr. Mackey's death. No wonder they didn't want you to see the video. His daughter, Tatiani Mackey, 20 years old, said, the DA justifies what is in the video. You see the video, but you don't see the crime that's being committed. How? I don't know how, because it's right there. It's clear. Accountability. That's what we want. Justice. Okay. Let us, this is a long one, so I'll just skip to the more, I guess, impactful parts. I believe it's about 8 minutes. I will turn off my mic so there is no feedback. Go high quality and full screen.
We got 6/6/18, 6:30 p.m. Inmate name unknown.
Court, can I have the tender? Because you're gonna take this. Yeah, you guys are going with the right. There you go. Move your hand. Stop resisting. He's not even affecting. It does. It's not even affecting. It's not. Sir. Yeah. Open that. Open that. Not breathing. I don't see you watch. Wait. Who had a meter? Even as you. Hey. You got a narc now? No. Oh, yeah. Restrictions are high. 2, 3, 4, 5.
PPR. Start PPR.
Get power like this. Stop!
Feel holy, I want you.
I think we got the idea on that one. I will upload that full video as well. I'm going to mirror it on my channels. Yes, that is a good point to remember. It can be quite, this is heavy stuff for sure. And what I found is, I mean, the more indignant I get, the more I kind of lose control of my emotions. So when I do try to be more professional and neutral about relaying this information, these stories, I find that it's easier for me to process because I kind of see myself as a conduit for the information rather than, looking at it through my own subjective lens, which, it makes it a much more, I think, emotionally distressing experience. And I think people prefer that because they do want that kind of neutral, relaying of the news, right? They don't necessarily want to hear my opinions. So Pepsi Watson, if anybody is interested in Pepsi Watson's story, I have multiple interviews with Pepsi. I interviewed him last summer, actually on the same day that I talked to Sean, and that is on my channel. And I also interviewed him a couple months ago now. This year is just flying by, guys. Live from Her Majesty's Prison, the Mount, which is where he got transferred to from HMP Thameside. I don't know if I can say much more than that, just because his case is ongoing, and I don't want to jeopardize any possibility of him getting released. So I would just maybe say simply that he is not incarcerated justifiably. He has not had trial. He has not had any sort of reason for being arrested and incarcerated. He is under the IPP sentence, since we are talking about corruption and police corruption. Incarcerated for public protection, which was abolished, but it wasn't abolished retroactively. So people who were indicted under the IPP prior to, I think it was 2012, are still under that barbaric sentence. And it basically is an indefinite ball and chain to the state, such that they can recall IPP prisoners at any time, at any place, for any reason. And that's in the United Kingdom. Yes, and here is Quadrex. He went on to explain it a bit. Yeah, go and check out his chat with Sean, too. One of my favorite podcasts from Mr. Atwood. Awesome chat. They do 48 Laws of Power chat there. Yeah, as far as Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey, I would just encourage people to check out Making a Murderer on Netflix. Cops are a gang. I won't change your mind because I don't think I need to. I think you're seeing things accurately there, Mr. Levy. Yeah, again, I would really encourage people to watch the documentary and look at the evidence, the hard evidence, before coming to any conclusions about that case. Okay, you guys discussing that. Great, now I'm thirsty. 16 Shots. Good HBO doc. I might have to check that out. I actually have never seen that one. Never heard of it either. Yes, in California especially, I think they have that. I don't know if it's every state, but you got a lot of young Latinos, young Chicanos, black men in particular. Usually they are male, who are serving life sentences for petty amounts of marijuana possession. Really sad, really sad state of affairs we find our justice systems in, not only in the United States, but in the West as a whole, Canada as well, which I'm beginning to do more and more research on. I definitely know more about the US justice system and the justice system in the United Kingdom as well, which of course we know is very corrupt. Perhaps even more so than the US, depending on how you look at it. But Canada is not that much better by any means. Yeah, I'd encourage people to check out Kevin Annette's work on that stuff, because she has great stuff. Again, also has a great interview with Sean as well on there. I think it's called The Queen's Disappearance of 12 Kids, or Queen's Disappearance of 10 Kids, something like that. Part 2. They do have a part 1, but it's only like 20 minutes because Mr. Annette's connection was not very good. So this has been episode 1 of Back the Blue Crimes. I don't even know, what did I call it? Criminals in Police Uniforms. A neutral reporting on crimes committed by law enforcement. I hope you guys like this. Let me know what you think. What's your feedback? Please go check out my brand new YouTube. I'm back on the front page again, which is pretty great. I was moved off for a bit, which is totally fine. You know, it's their prerogative, but they put me back on the front page either today or yesterday. I think it was today, actually. So you can go check that out. And Parker told me that I have the best hair in alternative media. So I thought that was kind of funny. I told him not to let the ladies hear him say that, because they might take issue with that. I also got my BitChute, which I don't update quite as often. I'm trying to mirror all my videos on BitChute to use it as a backup. And Brighteon as well, which I need to add my Brighteon to, I think, my description boxes as well. So I'm going to do that, which is, I think, Mr. Mike Evans, I think his name is. He made that one. Again, I'm using it now just as a backup, but if people want to go and sub there, please do that. My Facebook too, I'm actually uploading my videos to my Facebook page as well. The ones that I haven't simultaneously streamed or simulcast, because depending on my money situation, if I don't pay for my StreamYard Pro or StreamYard Basic, you only can stream to one website at a time, and obviously that's going to be my YouTube. But what I'm going to do is just download this and then re-upload it to my other channels too. So check that out too. It just helps with the algorithms and stuff. And then my Twitter, that's kind of more personal thoughts on and musings on current events as well. If you want to support, please do subscribe. It's free to do so. It's in the bottom right. And hit that bell icon. Ring the bell. Just like a Navy SEAL quitting training. And if you really want to help out, please feel free to maybe put in $1 or $2 in my GoFundMe or PayPal. Or you can do my Patreon too, just for as little as $1 a month. or you can just do a one-time donation on my GoFundMe too as well. I want to shout out to Kay for being an awesome donor. One of my most supportive subscribers in terms of my Patreon and my GoFundMe and my PayPal. So shout out to Kay. I know she doesn't want me to reveal her identity, which of course I won't. But I just wanted to thank Kay in public, even though I know she's not necessarily looking for recognition for that. I do want to offer my gratitude for anybody who does support, even if it is just subscribing, which I do really appreciate that. So almost to 2K now, almost to 2,000 subscribers. I'm about at I just hit 1,750, I think yesterday. So that's pretty good news. I'm trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the month, maybe sooner. I would love to get to 20,000 as soon as possible, because then I can meet the criteria for George Webb's. He's going to try to do some features on people who have at least 20,000 subscribers. So as soon as I get to 20,000, I can collab with George in that. And I am demonetized as of what month is it? The end of June is when I got demonetized, and I just reapplied. But Paul Cottrell told me that he also reapplied, and I don't even know if he's heard back yet. But I assume it's going to be a couple more weeks before I get a response. So I am trying to comply with YouTube's policies and follow their rules. Even if I don't agree with their kind of lack of observance of our First Amendment right. So, they are a private company. But yeah, I did get demonetized, but not that I was really making that much money anyway. It was literally like cents on the dollar that I was making for advertisement money. But it was easier, especially I think for my older subscribers, my Xers and boomers who pay attention, because they like to do the super chats, which is easier for them to, I think, understand how to do that. So hopefully that comes back soon. The nice thing about GoFundMe and PayPal is they take less of a percentage out of the donations, because Google rather, they take, I think it's 30% out of any super chats. That's not to say I'm going to deny or I don't want super chats because of that, but again, I don't have that ability at the moment because I am demonetized. But I impressed Ryan with that. He was like, "Wow, you got demonetized already?" I was like, "Yep." So again, I'm trying to comply and make sure I'm not offending anybody in the management of Google and YouTube, but that is hard to do, as we all know. Yeah, and I just posted Dr. Cottrell's chat with Stefan today. Another unfortunate thing is YouTube is having trouble in allowing me to premiere my videos. I wanted to premiere Dr. Cottrell's chat with Stefan. Dr. Cottrell, Paul, requested that I upload it to my channel. So I did that. And I tried to premiere my chat with Augusto Gomez as well. But again, they didn't let me. And so this is a relatively new problem. I've never had this problem before. I don't know if it's a legitimate technical glitch or if it's only made to appear as such. I hope it's the former rather than the latter, because I personally enjoy premiering a lot, and I know you guys do too, because it kind of adds to that community feel of everybody getting to watch the video for the first time at once, which is pretty cool. And you can always chat too in the live chat, which is really fun as well, even if they do remove the live chat sometimes after the fact. I don't know why they do that. but hopefully that premiering problem goes away soon, because that's really fun to do. Kind of adds to that community aspect of enjoying new content, as I said. Thank you, Cindy. Please don't feel obligated, anyone, to give a donation. That, of course, is antithetical to the definition of donations, right? That would be a bill. But yeah, even if you can't give any money, because I know, times can be kind of hard right now for people. I certainly don't have as much money as I usually do because of this pandemic, but it's okay. I'm still plugging away, and I'm trying to go pretty much full time on this. I have been for most of this summer. Thankfully, I've had the resources to do that, except for a few hiccups here and there with logistical stuff and well, to put it most accurately, enemies that have gotten in my way, which I won't go into because that's my issues that I'm dealing with. But if you don't have enemies, you're not doing something right? So they don't build statues for critics, and people without enemies usually are people who aren't really standing for anything. So I think that's just a testament to the fact that I'm doing something right, or at least I'm standing up for something that I do believe in. So this has been quite a long podcast, quite a long broadcast, a lot longer than I thought it would be, but I think it went quite well. I'm going to do an episode 2 of Back to Blue pretty soon here. Not sure when, but I am heading to visit family this weekend, tomorrow, just for the night. So probably won't do a broadcast while I'm away, because just the internet connection where I'm going is out in the country. I'm gonna go and kind of take a night or a day and a half or so just to hang out with my grandparents. So you can. Who opposes you most, the left or the right? That's a good question. Definitely, I would say people who lean left. Yeah, but they're kind of the loudest dissenters anyway, out of, I think, any political groups right now in the United States. But yeah, definitely, I would say millennial left-leaners are my biggest dissidents, which is kind of funny because they're my age group. Yeah, in other news, I just read actually the millennials and Zoomers now outnumber baby boomers. And analysis shows that more than 50% of U.S. residents are under the age of 40 as of last July, not last month, but July 2019. Over half of U.S. residents are under the age of 40. That's a lot of young people. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, stay frosty. All the best. Back to Blue. And stay tuned for more in the future. Cheers.